Wait,
going
let's
this.
see if I
Then
can do it.
touch my
And then I
back.
can
Is
go
that
this.
it?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Like,
What?
Sean,
All right, guys. Well, we're continuing to talk about difficult questions. Want to get some real, authentic teens. Again, I want to verify you guys are real teenagers. Is that correct?
I can pinch
No.
myself.
Yes,
Yeah. Pinch yourself.
I
yeah.
am real.
The ultimate proof.
I
right.
think I'm real.
Well, last week we talked about the first 5 days of creation and a lot of the questions that come with creation, from evolution to dinosaurs to all that is happening, all in those verses. And this next week, we're really just focusing on a few verses that talk about day 6 of creation, which is when God created man. And so there's two big things that we'll be talking about this week. And the two big questions that come out of that really are expressed in one question, which is, why am I the way that I am? So a lot of people ask themselves that question, especially when I do stupid things. My wife likes to look at me and say, why are you the way that you are? And I'm sure that's happened to you guys too. But I think the reason why the way that we are, it comes down to why God created us. So number one, it says that we are made in the image of God. And then number two, it says that God created us with two genders, male and female. So I wanted to open that box of questions of what does it mean to be made in the image of God? And do you believe that there's only two genders, or why do you think other people believe that there's more than one? So Haley, you look like you want to say something. So let's start with you. What do you think the image of God is? What does it mean that we are made in the image of God?
I'm like, he made us the way like he wanted us to be made. I mean, like, our personality is the way that he wants us. The way we look is the way he wanted us to look. However we change in the future is the way he wanted us to look, really.
I mean, we throw that word around a lot in church, made in the image of God. Does that mean that God is like some 6 foot tall white guy hanging out in the sky?
No. No,
So what is
probably
it?
God
not.
is like, well, God's a God, so like he can be just like a God could be just a light. So we don't know. God couldn't even look like what we are. But like, I kind of think of it like Sims. Like he thought, oh, I'd love for this to be what I would look like. So let me make people the way I would like to look. It's like he made us. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'm glad that God isn't playing Sims with my life, because when I play Sims, I just like destroy people's lives.
Yeah, I don't want to
You're
get too into
kinda-
it because I don't want to like offend people.
No.
Well, why do you think it would
I
offend
don't
people?
wanna do that.
Well, because like when we first started learning it, I always like grew up learning like God made us like the gender. He wanted us to make us like you were a girl, like God made you to be a girl and nothing else. And then like now it's like a completely different idea because people can be like whatever they want to be really now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the genders, because in Genesis 1, all it says is that God created man and woman, two distinct genders, but both human. And so do you believe that those are the only two genders, or do you actually believe that there are more?
I believe that there are only two genders. And in the Bible, like you said, there's only a man and a woman. And there was no Daryl and Chad.
Daryl? I don't think the first person's going to be named Daryl. God's like, you know what? I'm going to name you Daryl. That's a good name.
Chad.
Chad. What kind of name is
Chad.
Chad?
You know, I think that there's two genders. I just think people like to kind of not go back and forth, but like they gotta pick whatever they want to be. Because I mean, like there's different kind of sexualities, like what you're into, but there's not really like more than one gender. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And next week, when we talk about Genesis chapter 2, is when we'll actually talk about sexualities and sexual preferences and those identifications. So this is mainly just about gender. And so it's kind of a separate conversation. So I definitely understand that. But yeah, it's hard. What would you say to somebody who says that they feel like that they are a man trapped inside of a woman's body?
I mean,
Well, if they
like,
feel that way, I wouldn't really judge them because that's just how they feel. Like for the two genders, how I think of it, like there's only really two like body parts. Like so like that's how I feel. Like there's two body parts that separate the man from a woman. Like if they feel like they're trapped inside of a woman trapped inside of a man's body, like you're still born as a man, but if you want to be identified as a woman, I wouldn't really judge them.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be identified as both, like you don't have like one that you want to be, that's okay with me too. Because I mean, either way, you're still like how you want to be, and God like made that path for you. It's not like you're the one going against Him.
Mhm.
So
I would say that I respect them. I just don't necessarily support that topic. But like you guys said, I wouldn't judge them.
Yeah, that's basically
Either.
how I feel. I might not support it, but it's not like I'm going to judge them for doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because it's not like I can
in-
force them to stop being the way they are.
So like not judging them means like you would use their preferred pronouns and
Yeah.
treat them.
Like-
so how far do you go if it is it's a girl who feels like she's a man trapped inside a woman's body? Like how far do you go with that? Do they play on men's team sports? Like do they go in men's bathrooms? Like where does that respect
For
stop?
the sports
That's
thing,
where it gets
well, for
tough.
me, since I'm a runner, it's like guys are normally way faster than girls. So I feel like if you're like a trans woman, it's kind of unfair to the rest of all the other girls, because since you were born a boy, you'll most likely be faster than everybody, all the girls, so you'll have an advantage. That's just how
So-
I
Yeah.
feel about it.
That's an interesting topic because we were actually learning about that in like my anatomy class, and they're actually like letting guys do women's sports now, but they're making them take like medicine that will like lower their testosterone, so they're like just like a woman. So they will compete like a woman, and they won't have as many like testosterone, that will like increase their speed or like increase their strength.
So trying to equalize the playing field.
And
Yeah.
I mean, like I support it too, because like why would you want to compete with a guy when you really identify as a woman?
Like that medicine, I know there's medicine to do that, so I understand that. But if you're a trans woman not really taking that medicine, then it is kind of unfair to the woman on the actual sports that are born woman. That makes sense.
Yeah, they're trying to like make it so it's like official where you have to do it if you are going to.
And the bathroom thing, like if you identify as a woman and you're like a guy, I can see how it might be kind of weird to you going into the men's bathroom if you don't feel like you're a man. If that makes sense. So I think that would be fine too. Like I know I'd probably be like a little weirded out, but I wouldn't kick them out if that's how they feel.
So I feel like a lot of stuff is rattling around in Sean's head. Sean, what would you like to say?
I'm somewhat fine with the sports topic, but I just don't really think that the bathroom topic, like where a physically like woman type deal, I don't think that she should go into a man's bathroom just because of pronouns. But I respect their opinion, but I just don't really respect the bathroom topic. But that's probably the only time that that the line would be crossed for me.
So when it comes to the bathroom, you're more about the parts than the pronouns?
Yes.
I feel like for the bathroom thing, at least in the women's restroom, they're all basically shut off, so you can't really see into it. Like I know like the guys' bathroom, I know the urinals aren't really blocked off, so I can see why that might be weird for Sean. But for the girls, like there's like stalls, you can like shut it and lock it, and people can't really see what you're
Sean,
doing.
we've been missing out. Like girls' bathrooms are way nicer than our bathrooms.
You know, we have like full-on living rooms and like kitchens in there.
You have a full house.
Yeah, there's
like couches in there,
if you want.
a
TVs.
kitchen, a couch. There was a TV. I saw that on TikTok.
Why are you
Some
looking at girls'
janitor
bathrooms on TikTok?
No.
I remember seeing that.
Some janitor has to clean both man and women's bathrooms. So when he went inside, he saw a couch, a TV, like way nicer sinks, way nicer bathrooms in general, and then the boys' bathroom was like complete utter junk. It was horrible.
The girls just take care of their bathroom.
Right. Well, I've heard your guys' perspectives. Just like a question on a deeper level, the basis, the foundation for all of these beliefs, do you think it comes down to just if you feel a certain way, then it's okay? Or do you have to have your beliefs based off of something more? Because if there's a person who feels like they're a different gender, are you saying that that is enough? Or do they need to base that, that opinion or that belief on something deeper or something different?
What do you really mean by that? It makes me
I don't really
confused.
understand.
So like
Um,
basically what you're saying is the individual's feelings are what dictate their choices. They're saying that I feel this way. I feel like I'm a woman trapped inside of a man's body. Therefore I am. Or do you think there's something deeper, like biologically, should they be looking at a biological level, or they should be point to something like scripture? Like we can look at Genesis 1 and say like, this is our foundation. Like this is clear, two genders. Or is it like a mixture of both? Or what do you guys think? Sean?
well, I personally believe in kind of facts, not feelings, or in this case, uh, biological like parts and not feelings, because there could be a lot of bad people who say that they're a man trapped in a woman's body and then something or a yeah and then something bad happens, or they're transgender and then the bad person takes the whammon from in the bathroom, because that's the new law that passed is that's able to go. Oh man, I don't know what I'm saying. That's able to technically happen is if a transgender can go into a women's bathroom, but yeah, so yeah, bad things could happen.
So bad things happen when you base your opinions on feelings rather than facts, is what you're saying.
Sometimes, yes.
So what do
Most
you
of the time, yes.
what do you say to the person? Because you've said a couple of times like, I respect their choices, I respect their opinion, I just disagree with them. What do you say to the person that's saying like, you're not respecting me because you're not validating my choices and my identity? They're saying you're actually not respecting me.
I I would try my best to be as nice as possible, but like I said before, if it's like a guy going into a woman's bathroom, then that most definitely crosses the line for me. Like, fine line between that.
So you're saying that a person feels this way. Are you saying that like, if there's a girl that you know that feels like she's a boy trapped inside of a girl's body, that because she feels that way, then it's true? Or do you think there needs to be something more that she needs to base her opinion of herself on?
I mean, if she feels like she like doesn't feel like a guy or feel like a girl, then I mean, like that's how she feels. Like there really shouldn't be anything else to base it off on. I mean, like that's how she feels. Like, or I guess it would be he then, but I don't want to like get the pronouns wrong. This hypothetical person, like we don't really know how they're feeling inside, because the feeling could be much deeper than just like a slight feeling. I mean, it could like literally just be like on their mind all day, like about that kind of thing. So I mean, really, it's feeling. If I got that right, understood it.
So like earlier you acknowledged the Bible says that there are only two genders. So basically you're saying it's okay if somebody feels that they're a different gender, but there's still only two genders.
Yeah.
So I think what she's basically saying is that I do like she does believe that there is two genders, but if they feel that way, I'm not gonna like, try to convince them that there is only two genders if they want to believe that,
Yeah.
because I don't want to disrespect them. Because like you can still like tell them like what you believe, because like you were talking about this in life groups the other day. Like you can still tell them what you believe and like not get into a fight with them trying to figure out how many genders there are. Like I feel like it's better like just having like a conversation, like, oh, you think this? Well, this is what I think, and just seeing two different sides. You don't have to really fight about it.
I have like a lot of friends though that
Yeah.
are like transgender, so like I kind of am more on their side than I am like the old like Bible ways.
Like for me, I'm still the Bible ways, but like if some like I have one
You
like,
respect
I
them
know
no matter
two
what.
transgender friends. They wanted to be called a he, so I was trying to like disrespect them. Like I still believe everything in the Bible, but I'm trying to be respectful to them. That makes sense.
I think I hear your guys' perspectives, and we'll be sure to continue talking about this because there's no way we can talk about this or even land perfectly on where all of this is. But the key thing that I hear from all of you is that you still want to show people respect and love, which is a good starting point, because if we believe that we're all created in the image of God, then we're all deserving of the same respect, the same love. And so if it all comes down to that, then that's at least a good starting place. But I encourage you guys to continue to talk about this. It's a difficult subject to talk about, and I'm trying to purposefully ask you guys questions to challenge the way that you think. And this is kind of a fluid conversation that keeps going, and that it's really important for us to have this conversation. So thank you guys for joining us today. We're going to wave and say a goodbye to you. So see you next time.
Bye.